Welcome back to Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Tuesday, April 2nd, 2019. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. We have a tendency to use the word athlete pretty loosely in bodybuilding, considering the fact that if most competitors actually had to do anything athletic, their joints might, well, spontaneously combust right there on the spot. But I'll tell you what, these fitness girls are another story. Just take a look at what Darrian Borrelo has been doing lately. A few days ago, the multi-time Olympian released a clip from a conditioning circuit that probably would have left most of the guys in the men's open drowning in a pool of their own sweat. Between people like Darrian and Ryle Grable and Whitney Jones, the level of true athleticism in the fitness division is really something special. So if we have any conversation about who the best athletes in bodybuilding are, we better make sure we start with the true standout athletes that we have in fitness. I've heard from more than a few people that Utah is one of the coolest spots in the country to vacation in. But if you need a reason to go check out what's going on out there in the Great Salt Lake, men's physique standout McCall might give you one. A few weeks ago, the first show of the season, McCall and his team seem like they're finally starting to hit their stride. McCall's a guy who we've seen show flashes of being a force in the division at different points in time. So if he pulls it all together at the Salt City Showdown, a top 5 finish is definitely within striking distance. Sometimes you hear writers and artists talking about being in a flow state, where the creative process essentially becomes effortless. And based on the way he's looked over the last few weeks, it seems like classic physique standout Jamie Leroyce is starting to find his flow. Despite having a relatively quiet off-season, Leroyce and his new team seem like they're on track to put together a pretty solid 2019 campaign. I mean, it wasn't all that long ago that we were talking about Leroyce as being one of the top rookie talents in the division. And assuming he keeps channeling this flow state, I wouldn't put it past him to end up back on the Olympia stage. It takes a special kind of person to make squatting 700 pounds feel like it's not a big deal. But to do it in shorts and a t-shirt without belts, wraps, or a squat suit, well, that's a little place I'd like to call Akim Williams territory. Over the weekend, the Brooklyn Beast was spotted doing what he does as he cranked out another 700-pound squat for 3 easy reps without even breaking a sweat. More and more, I'm starting to think that Akim has adamantium bones like Wolverine from X-Men, because this guy clearly isn't human. And the craziest part is, he's still young enough that he'll probably be able to keep doing this stuff and getting stronger for almost another decade, which to me puts him at the top of the mountain as the strongest IFBB pro of all time. One of the things that I love about the UFC is that their champions have to fight. There's none of this sit back and wait for months and months on end like we see way too often in sports like bodybuilding. But thankfully for us, Natalia Coelho has a little bit of that UFC toughness in her. Late last week, Coelho and her team released an update to show off where her conditioning is right now, which sparked up some rumors about a potential competition in her future at some point within the next month or so. For someone like her, I think getting out there and actually competing during the year is the best thing she can do for her brand as a top-tier athlete. And I think it brings up a really interesting question about whether or not some of our major champions should have to compete more than once or twice a year outside of the Arnold or the Olympia. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.